Hey guys, today I decided to create this video going a bit more in depth on how I like to groom and fill in my brows. So if you'd like to see how I do that, then please keep watching. So there are a few products that I like to use when filling in my brows. The first is a brow pencil, and it's the Brow Wiz by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And it's perfect because it's got your pencil on one end, and it's really small and thin, so it's great for trying to create little hair strokes or just defining the bottom of your brows. And then on the other side you've got a little brush, which is great for just grooming through the hairs. The next product I like to use is a matte brown eyeshadow, and I just like to use this one here. This isn't actually a brow powder, it's just an eyeshadow, but as long as the shadow is matte and the same color as your brows or your hair, then you should be good to use whatever you have laying around. And then I just like to apply that using an angled brush. And then the last product I like to use is a brow gel, and I just like to apply this after I've filled in my brows, and it just kind of coats each hair that you have, making it look a little bit more natural and less drawn on. And it's also great for keeping the hairs in place so that you don't have them sticking up or sticking down. So what I usually like to do before I apply those products to my brows is make sure that I don't have any stray hairs anywhere underneath my brow or even above it. But I try not to touch any of the hairs that are here in my brow, because you can kind of get carried away with over plucking, and once you've plucked that hair, it's gone for the time being, so I try not to do that. I even pluck any little hairs that I might have here in the center. Now this next step isn't something I do very often, in fact I do it quite rarely, but what I will do sometimes is I'll brush my hairs upwards. And if I notice any sticking up that are really long, then I'll go in with a pair of scissors, just a small little, I think these are just nail scissors. But then I'll just go in and kind of trim the very tips of those hairs. So when it comes to actually filling in my brows, I like to start off with my brow pencil, and I just like to create a sharp line at the bottom of my brow. Just sort of following the natural shape, but just making it a bit more sharp. And when doing this, I try to use really soft strokes because I don't want the product to look too harsh. Now if you do get a little too heavy-handed with your pencil, you can just go back in with the brush and just brush through that, and it should remove some of the product. Now once I'm content with the bottom of my brows, I like to go in with the brow powder or the eyeshadow, and I like to just kind of fill in the rest of my brows. So I like to use most of the product towards the ends of my brows and really cleaning up the top of them. And then whatever's left on the brush, I like to just kind of flick through the front. I want it to look a bit more sparse here, rather than having it be really thick all the way from the front to the end. Again, it's all about trying to create a natural looking brow. Now this brow is a little tricky for me sometimes because it is lower than my right brow. So when filling it in, I try to fill in the front a bit more and I go up a little higher with my brow powder. so they're a bit more even. I'm pretty content with them. My goal isn't to try and get them to look exactly the same as one another, because I think that's just a little unrealistic, but as long as they look pretty similar, I'm good. I just go through them one last time with the brush to remove any extra product that might be sitting on top of the hairs. And then lastly, I go in with my brow gel and just kind of brush that through them. And then once I've got all my makeup on and my brows are done, I like to just go in with a shimmery eyeshadow just to kind of highlight that brow bone right underneath the brows. It'll just sort of lift the eyes and make them and brighten everything up. So guys, that's it for this video. I hope it was helpful for some of you, and if you did enjoy watching it, then please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you all again soon.